My dad announced at my rehearsal dinner that I was always the difficult one growing up. So I raised my glass and told everyone exactly why I had to be. He tapped his glass with a butter knife at 7 p.m. before the salads were cleared. Everybody, I want to say something about my son. Jess squeezed my knee under the table. She'd met him twice. Both times he'd been charming. Now Danny was always the difficult one, he said. And the room did that polite laugh people do when they're not sure yet. Stubborn. Suspicious. Kid could turn a birthday party into an interrogation. Dad, I'm being honest. Ask anyone. 12 years old, and he's grilling me like I'm on the witness stand. He raised his glass toward Jess. Sweetheart, you're marrying a man who does not let things go. God help you. Bigger laugh that time. Jess didn't laugh. Her father, 3 seats down, didn't either. Dad sat, satisfied, and reached for the wine. I stood up. Since we're being honest, I said, I'd like to explain why. Danny. Karen, his wife, said it through her teeth. It's a toast, Karen. He started it. I turned to the room. 40 people. My mom's side on the left, because they still won't sit near him. When I was 11, my mom died. Some of you were there. And about 6 weeks after the funeral, I asked my dad a question. I asked him where the money from her life insurance went, because a lawyer had come to the house and told me, specifically, that a portion of it was mine, in a trust for school. The room got very quiet. He told me I misheard. He told me I was a kid and I didn't understand grown-up paperwork. And when I kept asking, he told my aunt I was difficult. Sit down, Dad said. When I was 12, I found a statement in the garage. The trust had $406,000 in it in March. In November, it had $11,000. I asked him about it at dinner. He threw the plate at the wall and told me I was being difficult. He was grieving, Karen said loud. You were a nightmare of a child. When I was 13, he bought a boat. Somebody at my mom's table said, oh my God. When I was 15, my grandmother started asking where her checks were going, and she asked me, and he didn't speak to me for a year, and when people asked why, he said I was difficult. Dad was standing now. This is a wedding, you selfish little. When I was 17, I applied to state school because there was no money. I worked nights at a warehouse. You came to my graduation and told my friends' parents that I'd chosen not to go away to school, that I was too difficult to live with roommates. You're embarrassing yourself, he said. There's no proof of any of this. I kept everything. He stopped. I photocopied the statements at the library when I was 12, because I was suspicious, because I was difficult. I mailed them to Uncle Ray in an envelope with a Spider-Man stamp on it, because that's what was in the drawer. Every head turned to my mother's brother, sitting at table 4, in a suit, next to a man nobody had been introduced to. Ray stood up. Danny, Dad said, and his voice had gone thin. Sit down. Sit down right now. We can talk about Ray's been talking to a forensic accountant for 4 years, I said. Not because he wanted to ruin your life. Because Grandma's estate needed an audit before it closed, and the audit kept finding you. The man beside Ray stood up too and buttoned his jacket. The trust wasn't yours to spend, I said. That's not a family disagreement. That's a felony, and there's no clock on it because you filed the paperwork claiming the money was still there. Every year. For 17 years. Karen had gone white. Frank, what is he talking about? The man in the jacket walked around the table and held out a folder. Dad didn't take it, so the man set it down on the tablecloth in front of him, right next to his wine. Frank Callahan, you've been served. Dad looked at the folder, then at me, then at the room, at 40 people, at my mother's family, and he did the thing he always does, the thing that made me difficult in the first place. He smiled and started to explain. He's confused, he said. He's always been difficult, I said. Yeah, I had to be. I lifted my glass to Mom, who paid for tonight, actually. It just took me 17 years to get her money back.